Welcome to Aspire New Sustainable Collaborations. Advancements to technology have brought new markets to bear, disrupt, disrupting existing ones and revolutionising the way companies deliver products and services all around the world. Think for a minute about the impact social media has had on advertising, the impact automation has had on manufacturing, and unfortunately, the sustainability movement is yet to truly leverage the scalable solutions. Imagine a world where businesses could divert their waste from landfill and deliver new collaborations in the process. What could this mean for the planet? What could that mean for enhancing businesses' connectivity with one another? What could it mean for manufacturing jobs in Queensland? And what could it mean for a company's bottom line? Over the next 25 minutes, I'll be introducing you to Cameron McKenzie, the CEO of Aspire, a peer-to-peer waste trading platform developing a more sustainable future for both business and the environment. The platform itself was built by CSIRO and Data61 over a 4-year pilot, and Cameron was engaged to commercialise the solution in 2018. Now, to give you a little bit more background on the platform itself, here's a quick 2-minute video previously prepared.
We live in a world of endless consumption, of make, take, and throw away. But the time has come to rethink the process. Aspire is giving businesses a new way to solve their issues with waste. We've pioneered innovative software to create an online marketplace that trades waste as a resource. It's a matching service designed for businesses to exchange or purchase resources that would otherwise be discarded, because one business's trash can be another's treasure. Aspire's online platform sets businesses of any scale on the path to a circular economy and unlocks ways to save costs on waste disposal and even earn revenue from selling existing waste. The platform also helps to create new supply chains, connect businesses, build innovative solutions for reuse and recycling, and reduce the environmental impact of waste disposal. Aspire's matchmaking algorithm has connected hundreds of businesses to reuse, recycle, rethink, and repurpose their waste, creating cost savings, resolving issues surrounding waste, and diverting resources destined for landfill. Here's how it can work. A business, like a hotel group, becomes a member of Aspire. Aspire creates an account to suit that business. For a hotel group, that means different departments are set up to trade waste as a resource through the platform. Departments then upload their waste resources. Interested parties on the Aspire platform can connect, negotiate and arrange exchanges, and report on their progress for supporting the local circular economy to their customers, community, and shareholders. Aspire, empowering businesses to exchange waste as a resource.
Awesome. Cameron, we just had a little introduction video on the Aspire platform. This is a lot of terminology like circular economy, and it also poses a lot of really interesting questions, not just for Joe down the road who wants to be more sustainable, but also business owners. So in your own words, can you introduce yourself a little bit about your background and the Aspire platform?
No worries. Thanks, Renee, and thanks for attending, everyone. I'm the CEO of Aspire, and as you sort of said before and preluded, that Aspire it's a multi-sided platform for commercial industrial waste built by CSIRO and Data61. I've got a long background in the construction industry, starting as an apprentice all the way up to like project managing, and and as a junior, you always get taught to put all the hazardous stuff at the bottom of a skip, and it's not really that sustainable, But with platforms like Aspire, and what I sort of seen is there's a big gap in the market where a lot of those resources that necessarily just get thrown out off a construction site, organics or retail, any industry, that there's actually an actual life or a higher value for it than actually sending it to landfill. And one thing, that we sort of see now is that the price of landfill is expected to triple in the next probably 2-3 years, and with Aspire it sort of helps those businesses, anyone from your SMEs right up to your multinationals. It gives everyone a different option to the day-to-day pre-COVID solutions.
And I think that's what gravitates me to the platform itself, is the fact that it's not exclusive to a particular market or to a particular size business. I think having a corporate social responsibility policy in place is pretty standard for larger corporates. But it can also be something that a smaller enterprise here in the Sunshine Coast, with a team of 5, they could be adopting these sustainability practices and being part of the solution. Tell us a little bit about some of the businesses that have been utilising the platform already. What's been some great utilisation?
Yeah, no worries. Well, it's actually for the deal that we've sort of got with Sunshine Coast and the other councils we have in Queensland is any business under 100 employees, which I think that what the stats say, it's about 95% of the businesses there, so they can actually use Aspire for free. So you know what I mean. So it's there's no real excuse when it comes to cost. They can use it. But getting back to your question, there was a business that in the farming industry that was in Victoria that was spending about $8,000 a month, send perfectly good fresh produce to landfill, like your ugly fruit and vegetables, the ones that your Coles and Woolies were rejecting, and it was just the most cost-effective option was to send it straight to landfill. Absolutely disgraceful. But through the platform, they managed to find sustainable solutions. So one of them was a zoo, which was probably about 6 kilometres down the road, which was really great. I'm not quite sure how many zucchinis lions and tigers eat, but they obviously have a few. Some of it went to an organisation that makes meals for disadvantaged Australians, which is, again, like a really big social aspect tick. Some of it got dehydrated, turned into chips. Some of it got composted. But at the end of the day, it saved this business, over $7,000 a month, creates sustainable business networks, and end of the day, keeps all this waste or resource out of landfill. So, that's just one example of, hundreds and hundreds that we've had.
And I love the fact that it is a true value exchange. It's a true win-for-win for everyone involved, because this organisation's gone from saving $8,000 a month, and then you think of the additional environmental things involved in transporting all that waste. They could have possibly been driving past this zoo if it was only 6 kilometres away, and now there's this new social capital and connection happening locally, and potentially create a new revenue stream for other companies with them, dry freezing the products as well and creating some chips. So what's been the most unusual utilisation of the platform?
Oh, there's always one that comes to mind when this question arises. There was a local council down in Victoria. I think they had a lot of, after a big storm, they had a lot of seaweed that sort of washed up on one of the coastlines there. And what the normal thing to do then is to collect it all and send it to landfill, because that's the only thing they can do. But obviously seaweed's carbon intensive. What they did is they actually listed that on Aspire. When I saw that, I scratched my head thinking, oh, gee whiz, what's going to happen here? Not quite sure if that'll move. But within a couple of days it was snapped up. There was a lady who was growing fly larvae. That's really good high protein levels, to feed it to fish and so forth. And what she was doing, she was spending a lot of time during the week finding post-consumer food that she would feed to these fly larvae, where she never even thought to use seafood, which was a free source, only less than a kilometre away on the beach. And again, that's another great sustainable business network that was really driven from council innovation. So, yeah.
And I think that's what's so great here on the Sunshine Coast. We see examples of sustainability here at the University of the Sunshine Coast. We have this 10 million water battery. And it's good to see that people are not just doing it to be responsible corporate citizens, or if we have children, or we're conscious of the next generation, but also seeing the short-term benefits by creating those new connections and either saving money or generating some new revenue streams.
Yeah.
So the platform that you touched on is available for Sunshine Coast businesses. what would be the process for them to jump on board and register?
Well, yeah, well, it's very easy. So far, we've launched in Sunshine Coast, Redlands, where else? Gold Coast and Logan. So pretty much, if you've got a business located in one of those LGAs, local government associations, all you need to do is register. Once you put your ABN in, it'll register where your business is located, and with that, you go straight through to our dashboard, and you can start uploading resources and using it. So we've got a website. We'll be able to share the link after this. You just hit the login button and follow the prompts, and it's quite simple. And what we sort of found with all the businesses that sort of register on Aspire, it's it's quite intuitive and quite easy to log in. And I think we launched in Queensland about 6 weeks ago, 2 months. I think one of the ladies in the office explained to me that we had 10 businesses from Queensland join yesterday by itself. So again, that's really great uptake. I think we're sitting at maybe 50 or 60 in Queensland already. What we want to do is try to get to 50 or 60,000. So the whole idea of a platform like Aspire is networks, creating sustainable networks and bigger networks and diverse networks, and create circular ecosystems, and that's what we're aiming to do. We've got a guy that works with us, Sean, who's all about building circular ecosystems, and that's purely his job. So we'll be working with those councils in Queensland, as long as with Tasmania and Victoria to do the same. But we're also working with businesses to build ecosystems around their supply chain and value chain.
Beautiful. Now, for those following along, please drop your questions or comments below, and we'll pose those to Cameron very shortly. Just before we do, Cameron, I'd be keen to hear maybe your comments to other business owners. What would be the first steps for them scoping what waste they do have? How do they go? Like you touched on before, you're in construction, and there's things that you just immediately throw in the bin. How does a business owner take a step back and go, actually, this could be of value to someone? What steps should they take?
Well, the first thing to do is again, probably just stop and take a breath, and have a look at, some of the resource that you're throwing into your bin. Is there possibly another life? You'd be quite surprised. We've got businesses that take pallets, soft plastics, styrofoam. Styrofoam's a big pain in the backside for any business that breaks up and blows around yards. And we've actually got people on Aspire that actually collect that. So again, don't be shy to think that there won't be, a taker or someone for it. It's all about taking a step back, having a bit of a look, and seeing what's coming in and out of your business. Even products that you want to bring in. Again, there's a business down here in Victoria that collects styrofoam, old papers, cardboard, and they shred it. They shred all the materials and they turn it into bonded panels like thermal bricks. And they do quite well. And, they're collecting all this styrofoam that businesses don't want, and they're turning into a product they can sell. So it's quite an innovative solution, and they've been doing this for years. And Aspire is just something to help them broaden their markets and create the markets around the supply and demand of these products that they might not normally had before.
And for yourself, where you touched on the number of businesses you'd like to see, where do you think this could be in 6 months? Why should someone perhaps join today instead of waiting, later down the road?
Yeah, I think there's no time better than now to jump on the platform and start using it, because you really want to start establishing those business networks and those connections. So and what we need to do to get a robust circular ecosystem in Queensland is to get businesses loading and using the platform, and everyone will benefit from that. Like when it comes to small businesses and to change behaviours, what you really need to do is thicken their wallets. That's the only real way to change behaviours for a lot of businesses. And and the sooner they get on, and because it's free, and the sooner they start using it, become the day-to-day, the norm, the more value they'll get out of it, and the long-term value they'll get out of it.
I'm really bad for that myself personally. I always forgot to get my shopping bags from the car. But as soon as it became mandatory, it was funny how quickly people started adopting this new behaviour. It became the new normal. And I think that's what's interesting. Aspire can help people choose to be part of the solution and to be proactively involved in that process. And because there is a little bit of a monetary value behind it, definitely encourage people to adopt sooner. And I guess it's about being an early adopter on the platform too, because the sooner you're on there, the sooner you can make these connections that you may have in place for a number of years instead of potentially a competitor. Because once you're the first person to form that relationship, that relationship's in place potentially for years and years and has a really a long lifetime value.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we sort of find with businesses on Aspire, we got some really active ones that'll use it, several times a week and be super happy. We've got some that will use it once a week. Some might use it once every three months when they get like a unique stream or something like that. They want to exchange, and it's all about just getting it on board and trying to use it as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. So for yourself as a consumer, what things do you personally like to recycle that for yourself at home? I think whilst we're talking about this for business, while we're just waiting for some questions to come in, I'd love to hear about maybe you being part of Aspire, how it's changed your choices.
I think absolutely has. It's brought it more to probably the forefront. I've always had probably like a taste for sustainability over the years, and always, I've got a Scottish background, so if anyone knows about the Scots, it can be quite tight. So I've always about trying to, salvage what I can, trying to repurpose it, even just give it away, just try to save it from going to landfill. But now, since I've transitioned into this space several years ago, it's sort of everything you do. I start using, for furniture. I use Aspire for furniture now. I know I've got a new couch at home, and I've got a new desk. So there's all types of stuff that we use it for. Being now in the digital space, coming from construction, I don't use it as much anymore. But there's a lot of advice I give to, some more domestic or commercial builders about, hey, we've got someone who'll take all your hardwood or probably buy it from you, or your tiles, or even your concrete, because concrete's very carbon intensive. So it's all about trying to find another solution from sending it into a skip and paying, a lot of money for that.
Definitely. Just a little bit of your audio there. Just what was those last final comments?
Forgot. But I think one thing that Aspire is going to help moving forward is there's a lot of federal government incentives that are coming out, and there's a lot of direction coming with the Morrison government banning a lot of the waste that gets exported now, and we have to deal with it locally. So what Aspire can do and help these businesses is create the markets around the supply and demand of those products that would normally go to landfill. I know in Victoria, the state government are going to start banning and making mandatory for the separation of commercial waste. So again, Aspire is a perfectly good plug and play option for them. And I think I was speaking to the New South Wales government a couple of days ago, and they're looking to bring in a similar policy, and I think the rest of the states around Australia will follow. And having over 180 different commodities on Aspire, there's not too many things that we don't find.
Yeah. Sharon, thanks for your comments. It is absolutely exciting for businesses to be able to list their waste products. We've seen some really fantastic examples of that across the Sunshine Coast. Another question comes through is, if business comes on board with joining us in the Aspire program, do they get a banner to show that they're a member of the Aspire platform, just to get environmental credentials and to show that they are environmentally responsible business?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question there. When a business joins Aspire, one of the first things we do is we get a welcome pack out to them. So it gives them a bit of direction about what to do, a few stickers so they can actually show and say they're a part of the network, which is really great. Also, too, Aspire is not like a plug and leave. We help you through your circular journey. So we help you like upload resources. If you've got any questions, we've got a big team of guys that can help you, with your journey to circularity. But one of the really cool things that Aspire does on the platform is it actually shows you some really cool ESG certified documents. Like one again, landfill diverted. We can actually show and have a dashboard, a real live counter that can show how many tons on how good on the environmental impact that you're doing. We've got CO2 emission savings, so we can actually calculate how much CO2 when it comes to Scope 3 transport. We're looking to add embedded carbon into that, but it's a bit of a dark art measuring carbon in that state, so we're building to that. We've got also too, we can actually record how much cash you're saving. So one of the things we've got in Aspire is it's called like waste dollars, we call it. So there's actually one thing called green dollars. So it's actually if you sell your product for money, that would you normally would sit around a yard. But also too, if you've got a ton of apples and it costs you $300 to get rid of, and you sell it for $200, well then we can actually record the saving and how much cash that you've earned. So again, when it goes up the chain, to the C-suite in the business or to the general manager, we've got some great information that's very simple and intuitive to look at and watch. So, yeah.
And I think it's interesting seeing some other countries and what they're doing as tax incentives around this, and I just to see what that data and those analytics mean longer term for businesses as well, being able to communicate the value they've provided back. Particularly as we're seeing a new generation come into the workforce and their values and what they place as importance. Sustainability becomes a very hot topic when it comes to politics and having all the new generation as voters. But knowing that they're working for a company with high sustainability values is definitely a good selling point as an employer of choice as well. Another small customers are looking for businesses that are doing the right thing and thinking about better ways of doing business, and that it's worth sharing your story and what you do with added market advantage. Thank you, Sharon, for that. Have you noticed that with some of the companies you're working with, they're using this as a way to sell their business as a competitive advantage?
Yeah, we do quite often. So, one of the things that we do at Aspire is being a subscription-based service and not commission-based. There's no reason for businesses not to use it. So, and with that, it engages sustainable, business networks and engagement. And we've found, one business, I think, in the construction industry that, obviously when they quote for a certain amount of skips, but I think they're about a 4-man band. I was speaking to them the other day, and I think they've got they've reduced their environmental impact per job by about 60%. Just through networks through Aspire, even again, like the hardwood, the tiles, the concrete, they separate it. It takes a little bit for them to get used to it, but when the boss can see it's saving them money, they get to do it. They tend to do it quite quickly. And another thing too that what sort of drives our sort of vision is like Aspire's been recently B Corporation. So, and again that's like a global label which shows that basically we're trying to do as much as we can socially and environmentally. And again, that's like a big sort of magnet for a lot of the younger generation coming into the market. I think, I've had probably about 2 or 3 calls a week when it comes from people that's seen it with B Corp. We're the only resource exchange platform in the world who's got B Corp certification. So again, I think that's it's a really big plus, and that's a big sort of point of difference for us and our members.
Got another comment here. If I'm a business registered in Aspire and I can see a consistent supply of reuse inputs, which usually as a business I don't see, I can make a decision in investing in a sustainable business model and potentially new revenue income streams. Absolutely. So I guess quickly, a little bit of what we've covered on the Aspire platform. It connecting businesses, not just on the Sunshine Coast, but neighbouring regions, across Queensland and other councils in other states on board. If you have less than 120 staff, you can get on there and register for free. It's not specific to a particular industry. So it could be construction, it could be retail, it could be office, it could be any of the likes. You can list your waste and you can make money from it. Or you can source new inputs, new materials into your business and either get it cheaper or just make sure that it's from someone locally and you're meeting new locals in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just for like your businesses under 100. Like the bigger the organisation, the more effort the more bonuses they're going to get out of it. And one, as I said before, as you said before, like we see some really, really unique exchanges, like the exchange coming from retail to manufacturing and vice versa, where you would never actually see that before. Even like non-for-profits with like some pretty big for-profit businesses, and they're actually creating some sustainable networks. So again, there's the big social upside to it, environmental and the economic. So as I said before, like the only real way you're going to change your small business or a business's behaviour is to thicken their wallets. And it's really great that it's a free service for these businesses, but again, it's there's not one line in the P&L that we can't help some way or another. So
yeah. So if you're a business owner and you're keen to save some money, make some money, maybe retain and attract some new staff based on the values of your organisation, and keen to just meet some other business owners, Aspire could be an amazing platform for you. We're going to drop a link to the platform in the comments below. We've got schools and not-for-profits are also businesses with an ABN, so they can use the Aspire platform. Absolutely. That's my understanding. Correct, Cameron?
Absolutely. Any business, as long as you've got an ABN, you can join. And that's what we've done to sort of add a lot of credibility and trust around it. So, yeah, and also too, we've got a chat module inside it, so you can actually chat to these guys and have some really, really good understanding about the products that you're exchanging. So again, it's everyone's there's a big want now for digital for Industry 4.0, and it's across with circular economy. So with COVID, everyone's sort of working from home now, and everyone's looking on that digital age. And I think this is a perfect time for business to get on board and make that switch digital for their excess waste and resource.
Well said. Cameron, just before we wrap up, closing comments?
I'd just like to thank everyone involved for this webinar, especially yourself, Renee, and the Sunshine Coast and Innovation Centre. And if anyone's got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out or hit the login button on our website, and we can happily go from there. We've got a team to help you with whatever you need. So, just sing out, and we're more than happy to give you a hand.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you found value. Be sure to log in, check out the website, comments below, and enjoy your journey exploring new sustainable options for both your business and the environment. Cheers.
Thank you.